Hey, welcome back to the site. I'm Trent, and today we're going to tie the Mickey fin. So the Mickey fin's got quite a bit of a history and story behind it. I'm not going to really get into all of that. I will tell you that it's an old fly, and when it was first made, they referred to if a fly caught a lot of fish, they would call it, they would say it killed fish. It would kill the fish. This fly was so good at catching fish that its first name was actually called the Assassin. Later it was changed. You can Google the history of the fly if you really want to. But then it got changed to the Mickey fin. To tie the fly, you need some flat tinsel, you need oval tinsel, and then you need red. I have a small piece of yellow bucktail. That's it. That's all you're going to need. So sit back, enjoy yourself, and let's get into the tie. Alright, I went ahead and put the hook in the vise, and I'm tying this on a 3X shank hook. And this is, I believe, a size 8. So I'm just going to go ahead and start my thread. And I just want a nice touching wrap thread base going back. Whoop. Give a little bit of slack. Alright, so we come in, and this is a 70 denier thread I'm using. So I just want it to be nice, fairly flat as I'm going back. This is important because this is going to have a tinsel body. So I don't want a lot of extra, bumps and other things in this fly as I'm coming back. And I'm going to take this all the way back to right where the shank of the hook goes into the bend. So right about there. Let's clip off that excess. And then next this is some oval tinsel. I think this is a medium I'm going to use. And again, I'm just going to take my nail and strip off some of that metal from the oval tinsel. Clip that off like so. Kind of wet that. Separate those two cords there. So I like to come underneath. And I like to just barely catch the metal. Take my bobbin, and I just want to separate those. There's two lines in there, and I just want them separated so they don't cause a weird bump with the tinsel. Okay, so now I'm just going to go forward. Again, these are just some touching wraps, just moving forward down the shank of the hook. The Mickey fin, honestly, is one of those flies that it's not difficult to tie, but it can become difficult to tie really well. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking my varnishing tool, and you don't have to buy a varnishing tool, but anything that's going to kind of be rounded and really kind of hard. It can be metal, it can be plastic, it can be stone. But I did that, and it just levels off all those thread wraps. So the next thing I'm going to do is I have some tinsel here, a little bit of a kink in there, so I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to tie in my tinsel like so. Couple wraps back on it. Just come forward. So now, when you're tying in this tinsel, we're going to go back, and we don't want to overlap. We want these rolls, this material to just be touching wraps, moving backwards. And this is the part, it can be fairly difficult sometimes to make this part of the fly work. So we're going to go back. Like so. And now I'm going to go over the top of all of that and come forward in the same fashion. This will help me have and maintain a really nice flat body. Have just a little bit of a problem here. I'm going to have to clip that off. What happened was my gold actually came unlaminated to my silver, which I've had happen a few times, but it's not terribly common. Come in and clip that free. So where that's happened, we're just gonna come in and nip that off real quick. All right, next part will be tying in this oval rib. And I like my rib to come out, and just a nice, even, consistent wrap is what you're looking for. Once you get to the top, you can give 1, 2 wraps there. We'll hold it back. Clip that free. Just want to secure everything real good at this point. So now I've got a mylar body and then the wrapped oval tinsel over the top. Alright, now it's time to tie in the wing. There'll be a yellow and then yellow bucktail, red bucktail, and then yellow bucktail on top. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out some bucktail. I will stack it just to get the get all the tips lined up, like so. And then I'm going to clip some of this height off. That'll just help with stacking. So throw it down in the stacker. I'm going to go over here a little bit away from the microphone. Stack it up. Well, see, all the tips are pretty well lined up. A few weird ones in there. And then we can just put the wing down, and we know we want it to go about where the bend of the hook is. So what I like to do with these is I come up, capture just the bucktail, and then go all the way around everything and pull it tight. Oh. do that again. I come up and go around just the bucktail, bring it down, go around everything, and wrap that in nice and tight. And what that does is it keeps that bucktail from wanting to spin or do too much. I'm just going to move that thread back. That collecting wrap, I just want to move it back a little bit. It shortened my wing on accident. So right there. Make sure everything's on top. Got the wing where I want it. You can always just push down on it a little bit with your thumb. That'll help flatten those wings out as well. It's important that the wing sits right on top. When you're tying flies on your own, for yourself, I have that camera on that side looking at the side I can't see. So a lot of times the fly on my side will look perfect, but on the other side, the wings may not look right. So it's just one of those things you just got to be aware of when you're tying, to especially if you're a rotary vise. Just rotate that vise around and take a look at it. I don't think the fish care, but if you're going to take the time to tie your own flies, you should probably, want to make sure they look okay. Now I'm just clipped off some red bucktail. I'll put it in the stacker. I'm just going to stack that up. Like so. Pinch and pull that out. Then we're just going to lay that red down. Got a weird one there. Lay the red down on top. Give it a couple wraps just to collect it. Make sure it looks okay on both sides of the fly. And it does. At least I think it does. Now what I'm going to do is clip all that excess off at this point. Like so. We're going to go ahead and bind all that down before we tie in this next piece. All I'm doing there is just pushing down some of those fibers, those hair fibers. Okay. So now I have the yellow and I have the red. Go back with the yellow, and then that'll finish off this fly. Here, I'm just going to pull out the short ones, kind of hand stack that back, just like I did earlier, and then just cut that length off only because my stacker's only a few inches tall. I don't need 4 inches of hair when I'm trying to stack. Put that down. Pull this out, and voila. Well, that did not stack nearly as well as I wanted to, so let me restack that hair. I think what happened was I was using my stacker on a book, and I don't think I was getting enough there to make it stack. So we're here, and we're just going to come right up over the top of everything, and I'm at the back of where I want the head to be as I tie this in. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. Now I'm going to hold the wing so when I do this cut I don't get a lot of movement. Now I'm just gonna come in, capture all those pieces. Now I watch people tie this pattern. It's a very popular pattern. A lot of people tie them. Some folks will put a red thread at the butt section of the silver body. I did not, and I don't usually. I think it may work as like a hot spot, maybe. I'm not sure why, but some folks, that's how they'll tie them. So let me go ahead and hit this with the whip finish. Down back. A little bit of black lacquer. And here's the Mickey Finn. It's a great fly. It's not terribly hard to tie. It is terribly hard to tie really well because of the tinsels, and they want to fold on each other, and like mine started to delaminate. But it's a great fly. It works very well. I suggest you tie up a few, carry them, try them this spring when the season warms up, and give it a shot. Till next time, I'll see you around the vise.